He stalked me across 2 different countries, so this is going to be pretty long. Several years ago, I was using a dating app. It was all fun and games. Sometimes I met some people for hookups, sometimes I didn't. Most of the time I didn't even reply to those who only sent me certain types of pictures unsolicited. One day, this guy shot me a message on there. He was, and is, 4 years younger than me, meaning that he was 18 at the time and I was 22. I really didn't consider him my type, but at the same time, I also didn't think it would hurt to get to know him. I mean, looks are just looks, and there have been plenty of times where I fell for a guy not for looks, but for personality. So maybe that could have been the case too. I just came out of a pretty toxic relationship that involves lots of cheating and trust issues and insecurities, so I wasn't really looking for a new relationship, but it did feel good to get some positive attention from guys. We started texting back and forth, nothing out of the ordinary, but I realised pretty soon that part of his personality he let me experience considered of not a lot more than I'm in the mood, let's fuck. And look, I'm not slut shaming, because I wasn't opposed to it. As I said, I just had a nasty breakup and was looking for some fun. So I said yes, and we exchanged numbers, agreed on a date, time and place, and then we went back to our normal lives, for now. I had a lot going on at the time. It was only a few months until I moved to a different place, so I already started planning for all of that. And not just that, but a friend of mine invited me to come on a trip with him to Amsterdam, which obviously had to be prepared as well, since that trip was scheduled 2 weeks before I was supposed to move. Therefore, it comes to no one's surprise that I kind of forgot about the guy. Until one day we were supposed to meet up. He texted me a few hours before if I was still clear. After I scolded myself for forgetting, I told him that we were meeting as planned, even though that would throw my schedule off for a little. So I got ready for the day, and I kid you not even an hour before we were supposed to meet, he cancelled. It happens that you can't always make it, so we scheduled another day, which he proceeded to cancel as well. Cancellation after cancellation, week after week, several different days. Each time it allegedly was a sick relative or pet, so clearly I took that as he really didn't want to meet me. Which would be fine, I'm not everyone's type either, but he could have at least had the decency not to lead me on then. So I told him off about his crappy behaviour and I blocked him. Maybe this was a little overreaction, but I just didn't want to waste my time with a guy that seemingly always found excuses to meet me when I could focus on the moving process, the vacation process, or another guy who was actually interested. But then, he messages me on a dating app. How dare I block him? He wanted to meet me, but I was just an unappreciative bitch. Obviously, after that I blocked him on the app as well. I thought that I had heard the last of him, so I went on with my days. I already started forgetting him after a few weeks, and then another account messaged me, fake pictures and all, but it didn't take long for me to figure out it was him. He basically admitted to it in the first place, so another block followed. Another account, another block, day after day. I thought, what is even going on? He didn't want to meet me first, and now he creates new accounts on the daily to contact me. What the hell? So I just had enough and wanted to tell him off again. When he started to apologise for his behaviour, that he was in the wrong and that he was willing to meet me if I was willing to meet him still. Trust me, I really wanted to blow him off, but in my mind, if I just met him and just be really bad at sex or something, he'd never contact me again. Stupid, but hey, it was worth a try. So we scheduled a meeting a few days before I was supposed to leave for the trip to Amsterdam, which I stupidly told him about. And since I didn't have a car, he offered to come to my place. Now, I would never ever give a stranger from the internet my address, but back then, I did. I mean, he couldn't possibly be a creep, right? So we met, he came into my house, we sat down on my bed, exchanged basic pleasantries, and then stopped talking altogether. He didn't even look at me. Just to be safe, I wasn't a catfish. I looked exactly like I did in the pictures I had on the app. Only when I asked him something, he would reply with very few words. Until I asked him directly if we'd hook up or not. He then suddenly started kissing me, and well, I don't have to go into detail. So when he finished, he just sat next to me, staring at the wall, not saying a word. At that point, I was pretty annoyed. I mean, I get being shy and all, but if it's that intense, how could you muster up the courage to go on a hookup? Anyway, after I went to the bathroom to freshen up, I told him my roommate would be back soon, so he jumped up, said goodbye and left. I got no other messages from him after. Flash forward to my trip to Amsterdam. My friend, let's call him Joe, and I had lots of fun roaming through the streets of Amsterdam day and night. Relax in our pretty fancy hotel and do the usual stuff tourists do. One day we were just walking down a very busy road, very close to the main train station, when suddenly I heard a car honk loudly next to us. The traffic light was on red, so the person wasn't driving. I thought nothing of it and didn't even look, until the guy started calling my name. The voice was very familiar, and the face that belonged to it was still in my memory. It was the hookup. When I looked, he smiled widely and called out for me to come over, but when he saw Joe, who at that point asked me who that was, the smile faded. I was dumbstruck, so I didn't say anything, but that wasn't necessary. The traffic light just turned green. People started getting agitated at the hookup that wouldn't go immediately, so finally he focused on the road again and drove off. That was a hell of a coincidence, right? That he would be in Amsterdam at the same time. But why wouldn't he say so when I told him my plans? If he didn't want me to know, why would he call out to me in the middle of a busy road? I didn't allow my mind to think about him intentionally going there to find me. That was impossible. He wasn't interested in me anyway, right? Back at home, my phone started to blow up. Calls, angry texts, new profiles. Didn't matter that I told him to stop. Didn't matter that I threatened to block him again. He told me that I was a slut for going out with another guy, despite being in a relationship with him, that I was just like everyone else, that he deserved better than me. And then he said he'd just been coming to Amsterdam for me. To surprise me. When I tell you I changed my number and deleted the dating app quicker than I possibly could have dreamt of, I mean I sprinted to my car and drove to the closest shop and got a new number. Not long after I moved into the new place, I had 2 new roommates that were both in the same college courses I was in. We got along fine and the house was pretty big. One of my roommates inherited it from her mum. The moving went smoothly. I didn't get another text, I didn't get any messages on my social media, and he didn't show up at my old place. Eventually, a few months later, I basically forgot again. For more context, the house was in a village, not even a small town, but a village. There were no shops, no nothing. Shopping would have to do in the next town that was approximately 4 miles away. My room was on the ground floor. The window of that room was right next to the entrance door where you were looking at the house from the outside. And right beside my room outside was a carport. The ground was covered in gravel, and once anyone moved, the light of the carport would turn on. It was a pretty hot summer, so sometimes I slept with my window open. I wasn't that afraid, because once again, it was a small village. Barely anyone would drive through here. So one night, I was just sleeping, even though my back was turned towards a window, and then I started to hear someone walking on the gravel towards my window. Immediately, I turned around, of course, and saw a guy walking past my window, though he didn't look inside. He walked to the mailbox and seemed to throw something inside, and then left again. I was stunned for a few seconds, but at least it wasn't a murderer, I thought. So, as soon as I could move, I closed the window, and I kept it closed each night from that point onward. And this actually happened a few nights, that someone walked to our mailbox in the middle of the night, but nothing was ever inside, at least that I knew of. It was weird, but maybe it was one of my roommates that were receiving something personal that they didn't want to share. Cut to a few nights later, I was minding my own business, when I suddenly heard some gravel again. My roommate had just gone to bed about half an hour ago, and I didn't hear anyone leave, so I thought it was just the mailbox guy. But this time, he didn't walk to the mailbox. He just walked to the carport. I know that because the light turned on. Immediately, I text my roommate about a guy in our carport. One of my roommates, Sarah, who had a room across the hallway from mine, while Mary, the other roommate, had hers upstairs, texts back into the group chat that we'd meet up with weapons at the bottom of the stairs to investigate. I grabbed a scissor I had in my room and went to our meeting point. Turns out my weapons were the most useful, since Mary came downstairs with a ukulele, and Sarah thought an empty plastic bottle would suffice. After laughing at the absurdity of our weapons of choice, We started getting back in serious mode, going to the side door that led to the carport. Sarah looked through the window of said door, but didn't see anyone. The light was turned off too. Just in that moment, we heard someone tampering with our mailbox again. I'm not gonna lie, I probably peed my pants a little bit. Immediately, we ran to the front door, opened it and looked outside, but there was no one. At least no one that I could see. After we looked in the mailbox, which was empty of course, we went back inside. Not even 2 minutes later, I got a text from an unknown number saying how cute I looked in my nightgown, that no makeup even made me look prettier. He hoped that I'd come down alone so we could have some fun together like before I moved, but he was sad to find 2 other people with me. Needless to say, none of us slept that night. The police were called immediately and did a sweep, but no one was found on the property. He didn't exactly say it, but I know it was that guy, so I filed a report the next day. Nothing really happened with it, but since nothing else happened like that, I thought he got the message when we called the police. Sometimes I still get messages from an unknown number, but they're pretty harmless and don't really bother any further when I ignore them. But the fear in the back of my mind that one day he could be back stays, of course. In the meantime, I took up self-defense classes. So, dear stalker, we better never meet again. It's a story that happened to me at the beginning of the year. It's in France, so I apologise for my English. A few years ago, I was dating a great man, for whom I had a lot of respect. He's a good person. He's kind of the perfect man for me. Noah. We broke up because I had to begin my training as a magistrate. It was a peaceful breakup. We have a lot of affection for each other. We're still very good friends. Our families are friends too. It's kind of funny because he lives where my parents live. For my part, I live in the same neighbourhood as Noah's parents. It's a friendly and caring relationship that we have now. Because of COVID-19, I can't go to see my parents for Christmas and New Year. I spend the holidays with Noah's parents. 2 weeks later in January, I leave my house to go to work. Someone wrote insults on my door. My car is scratched. My blood's freezing. I'm pretty shocked. You should know that the magistrates in France are protected. Fines and prison sentences are even harsher when an offence is committed against them. I'm afraid it's due to a case that I'm working on. I deal mainly with land stories, buildings, and damn it, there are people who are crazy sometimes. It is not a reasonable fear because I work in cases without dangerous people. I had to contact cops, inform the court, etc. These kinds of stories are not taken lightly. The police quickly find out that the person behind it is a certain Elsa. At the time in France, anyone leaving their home after 7 PM without permission was fined €135. The day before, someone had been caught 2 kilometers away and fined. The police asked me if I knew who the person was. She's a lady in her mid-60s. Her face is unknown to me. I'm not withdrawing my complaint. A week later, I get a call from Noah who warns me that he's visiting his parents with his girlfriend, whom he's been dating for a year. We're both friends on social media and she's a normal person. At that time in France, to move between different regions, you had to have a good motive. I didn't ask him about it. I told myself he just wanted to see his parents and he found an excuse to come. I come home from work at night and it does not miss. I surprised the crazy old lady of the photo near the entrance of my building. She was clearly drunk before I got there. I'm on the defensive, ready to fight if it's unpleasant. She called me a whore, that I was too involved in this guy's life, that I was trying to separate them. In short, that I was the other woman in her daughter's couple. I don't ask her any questions, and I let her talk, stunned. Furious, I called the policeman, who tried to calm the lady. I went out to my house with a few men because my presence made her angry. Later, I learned that she went to a van, but they didn't let her drive because she's drunk. It was only a few days later that I learned the truth. Noah visits me on the weekends with his girlfriend. She told me that they came for her mother, who was declared demented. Apparently, she almost assaulted someone. The police found a shotgun in the back of her car. A little panicked, I asked her if the mother's name was Elsa. The police and doctors thought she was just crazy, and that she just wanted to attack me for no reason, but Noah's girlfriend explained that it was because I'd spent Christmas with her boyfriend's parents, when she couldn't do it. Her mother had taken the news very badly, and she was afraid that her daughter would lose her boyfriend. I'd rather laugh about it than cry. The mother is on treatment. I withdrew my complaint. I think about this story now because I learned that Noah and his girlfriend are expecting a baby. What a funny story. I posted this in Missing 411, and in my planning of my upcoming camping trips, felt the urge to post it here. Mostly a copy and paste with an update on one of the family members. This may be a ramble of thoughts, but after recently stumbling across this sub, I finally felt a place I could offer something that my family and I experienced a few years ago, that to this day gives me a shiver. I've been camping, solo backpacking and hunting my whole life in Oregon, and felt comfortable in the woods and have a deep respect for nature. A few years ago, my wife, daughter and 2 German Shepherds went camping in North Mount Jefferson, Oregon. I have included the coordinates of our campsite, which we found to be the perfect setup for us and our dogs, who needed the privacy since they're intimidating to the other dog owners and they can be loud when spooked. It was not an established campsite, just a nice horseshoe off the USFS road that had flat ground full of trees and a fire pit. The first night, my daughter wanted to sleep by herself in a 2-man tent right next to ours. It was maybe 2 feet away from me and my wife's tent. We made the male German Shepherd sleep, Guts is his name, with her in the tent. That whole first night, neither my wife or I could sleep. We both heard footsteps, and they were heavy, not like typical forest critters scampering around the night. I was well armed because I was paranoid from reading recently before departing about a dad in California who was shot and killed in a tent next to his 2 infant daughters. Needless to say, both my wife and I had 2 pistols and a rifle with me. The dogs are great at detection, and that's why I thought my daughter could sleep alone, because Guts is completely fearless and nothing would lay a hand on her without having to battle to the death. All in all, nothing but bad vibes and loud footsteps occurred that night, which I ultimately decided was a deer or maybe some elk. Day 2, morning. We go for a walk down the road and maybe 300 feet away see a circle area in the photo. I see an abandoned road where a rusted gate was missing, was covered in vegetation. Something blue of colour caught my eye, and Guts immediately takes off running down the abandoned road. My heart begins to race, because I think it's another family camping like us, and he's going to get himself shot, or scare some innocent people to death. So I chase after him as fast as I can, and the rest follow. He stops after 20 feet into the road, and me yelling his name, but I have covered just enough distance to see that no one's there, and something is off about the sight. I yell, "Hello, is anyone there? Sorry about the dog." But I get no response. My curiosity gets the best of me, and I have to see what the site conditions are. As I get closer, I know something's wrong. It has all the necessities for a campsite, including a cooler, propane burner, tent, blankets, folding table, but every single item has been completely destroyed, smashed and torn from what appear to be claw marks. We all walk around in circles puzzled why anyone would leave their camping gear behind, including an expensive REI tent. I figured, well, someone left in a hurry and animals got to the rest, is the only logical explanation. Still, a propane tank and cooler were flattened by something, and it certainly wasn't snowpack with tree coverage in that spot. As the afternoon rolls in, me and my daughter are playing broke ball at the campsite, and my wife goes walking maybe 70 feet north to do her business. I do not have any direct line of sight on her, but all of a sudden I see Guts make a mad dash straight towards her. Normally he would be with me, unless he's called over and she didn't call for him. His speed and focus caught my attention, and I knew something weird was happening. So I run over there, and my wife starts jogging at me, and I immediately drew my pistol. Guts had completely continued running into the forest another 100 feet before I called him and he stopped. My other dog Leah, who never misses the opportunity to be the pack leader, is not taking point. I've had her for 7 years now, and this was the first time in her life she refused to leave my daughter's side. She was full hair raised and attached to us at the hip. Again, anytime we hike or play, Leah is up front bossing everything in her path and pauses to see where we are and continues. I asked my wife what happened and she said, "I was trying to pee and all of a sudden I felt all my hairs raise. I know someone was watching me, and then Guts starts running towards me and I just got up to move towards you." We spent 10 minutes looking for signs of anything and saw no trails, broken branches, nothing to point to what and where something went. We decided we're spending one more night since it's too late to pack up and drive, but we'll all be in the tent together. Before we go to bed, I put a rope with a makeshift coin alarm around the perimeter of our campsite. I used a mint can and some coins and keys from our truck and zip tied it so anything hitting the rope would give it a little jingle. Very unsophisticated, but it put my wife at ease. As I go to tie the last corner off the tree near our tent, our third mystery item unveils itself. It looks like someone has done the exact same thing I have done with the rope that was so old and brown that I didn't see it at first. It was broken and only a few pieces remained, but sure enough it was tied at roughly the same height, 8 to 10 inches off the ground, and even had a few rusted washers on it. I immediately thought someone had stayed here before and put the same makeshift warning system on the same tree as I am maybe 10 to 15 years ago based on the type of condition of the rope. Perhaps my paranoia had now just reached a new height, but I had to make sure the girls felt we were safe. And at the time, the only thing I could think of when the evening came around, I made them sit in the truck and I fired my clip of 45s into the dirt as a signal to whatever was out there that we were armed. I reassured the girls that anyone listening to that now knows that we have 2 wolves and are armed, and we are too risky of a target so we can sleep safely. That night we heard no footsteps and the dogs never perked up and barked. We left early the next morning. Fast forward to today and I watched the Amazon Missing 411 documentary, and I noticed the cluster smack dab close to where we camped that weekend, and a flood of dread washes over me as I think of that mysterious abandoned campsite with the ripped tent and smashed cooler and cooktop. We've been camping since and have enjoyed the beauty of NW, but there was something there at that place that possibly took or harmed someone else less than 300 feet away from where we camped, and we all thank our lucky stars Guts was doing his thing so well that afternoon. Update from the original posting. Guts is no longer with us. He had journeyed into the next phase, and there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about him and how he saved us. He is a warrior, and his new brother Geronimo has his spirit. I want to say a big thank you to Rep 143 for allowing me to narrate his story. I really appreciate it. Hello everyone. This is the part of the video where there's no more stories and where we just have a chat. Most of you know this by now, but I thought I'd say anyway. If you can hear a little rattling in the background, it's my fan. It is absolutely boiling in England at the minute. I'm actually recording this at like almost midnight. So I've been quite busy this weekend, but yeah, so I'm recording this quite late, so I am pretty tired. Well, the thing is, I feel tired, right? But I know I won't be able to sleep. I probably won't be able to get to sleep until like 2, 3 in the morning. I just have them sort of days quite a lot. I am a bit of like an owl, really. Like I'm just awake at night. Wait, it is wows. Owls that are awake at night, isn't it? I think so. I don't know. Don't know what I'm going on about. So what's been going on recently? My mum's had to have an operation, and it's all gone well, so I was kind of worried about that. It's quite a big operation, so I'm really relieved it's gone well, but it's going to be quite a long recovery, I think. So she's in a hospital at the moment in London, so I can't go and see her because of this hospital's policies, which is annoying, but yeah, but she's there and recovering, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, I I've been really thinking recently about what to upload on this channel, and I think narrations are the priority, really. Sorry. Yeah, I think narrations are the priority really for the channel, but the other type of videos too I want to do more of. Like, I did the medieval one, and for some reason people won't get notifications for that, so I'm gonna re-upload that again, probably next week or something. Just put it back out again, maybe at the same time I put this one out. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but yeah, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm gonna prioritize narrations. Now I've got a bit more time. So this one here is obviously a narration, but the weird thing is for me, I record this part at completely different days to the stories. So I've recorded the stories like a day or 2 days, 2 days ago now. But well, maybe not all of them. I don't know if I have enough stories yet, but I can't remember how many I did. To be fair, that's dodgy, isn't it? I should know. But yeah, I've recorded the stories anyway. I still need to edit them and everything, so I haven't edited it yet. I've made a few mistakes, so I know I need to edit some bits out. But if you notice that I've edited out mistakes, then let me know. Yeah, maybe you can tell, maybe you can't. I don't know. I really don't know. I had a comment the other day saying, do I watch other fucking hell, yawning. Do I watch other horror channels? And to be honest, no, I don't. I watch some like horror content stuff, like, but I don't really listen to narrations because I do so many of them. Like, most of the time I've heard the stories anyway because I've read them, so I don't really read much horror stuff outside of doing YouTube stuff or like listen to other people's horror stuff. But I love horror in general. It's my favourite genre. I love it. But yeah, I don't listen to other narrators or anything. Like, I honestly couldn't tell you what other people are doing at the moment. I really don't know. Like, I couldn't tell you like what, even the big ones, like I couldn't tell you what like Mr. Nightmare's doing. I haven't got a clue. Like Corpse Husband, I couldn't tell you what he's uploaded the last year and a half, 2 years. I just don't watch it. I don't watch them channels. I just watch I watch a lot of what do I watch actually? I watch a lot of rubbish, to be honest. Like I watch like programs, like TV programs that have been uploaded onto YouTube all the time, which I know that's probably quite bad really because it's copyright in it, but oh well. I watch some football stuff, some boxing stuff. I don't like most YouTubers. I think that's the problem I've got. I don't like the whole YouTube like personality type, that really sort of outgoing person, and because I'm not that person in real life. I'm not outgoing whatsoever. I'm outgoing when I know people, but if I don't know people, I'm not. I'm really shy, to be honest. I don't talk to many people. Like, I don't like having interactions with new people that much if I don't know them. You know, I'm just a bit of a... I'm not a loner, right? I'd say I'm like... I like my own company, is the best way to put it. Like, I like seeing my friends. I can't be on my own all the time, but I'm happy to go like I quite often, like if I want to just get out for a bit, I'll go for a walk on my own, or I'll go to the shops on my own, or like a shopping centre and just walk around on my own. Like, and don't buy anything, I just walk around, get a drink maybe, and just walk around and have a look for hours. Just something to do. I like being by myself, my own company. I go play football on my own sometimes. I do most of the time I spend by myself, to be honest, which I think is not a good thing for my brain, because like I've told you guys all about like the anxiety stuff that I get. It's not like I'm a walking bag of nerves, which is the annoying thing too, because I'm not nervous to talk to people or anything, or nervous to do stuff, but I worry about things all the time, like constantly worrying about things, and that's what I'm trying to work on at the minute. And it's been a bit better the last couple of weeks actually, which is good. So I'm hoping I can keep that going, because it was just draining me so much. It still is, but not as bad at the moment. At the moment, no one else is in my house, so Everyone's gone out apart from me. So I'm sitting here in the dark on my own. Literally, like right now, no one in this house, completely dark, no lights on. Turn the screen off on my laptop. I'm just recording, talking to myself. That's quite sad, isn't it? That is quite sad. Oh well. I can see out my window a little bit, but apart from that, it's completely dark in my room. Do you guys get scared of the dark? Can you let me know that? Because if I'm in like a little corner, I can be in the dark and I'm alright. Like in my room, I'm sort of off to the corner, so I know nothing's behind me. I think that's what it is in the dark. It's like thinking something could be behind me. Whereas at the moment, I'm completely like I can sort of, obviously you get like I can't see perfectly, but I can sort of see what's going on around me and nothing's going on. But actually I'm not alone. I've got my cat. He's not in with me though. He's in a different room, but he's wandering about somewhere or sleeping. That's all he does. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep waffling on, to be honest with you guys. I don't know if you guys like. Well, I know some of you like this bit at the end of the video, but I know you come for stories, so I need to try and put a lot of stories in too. So I might put some more stories in. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to a couple of people actually. Actually, just off the top of my head, because I know there's so many of you I'm going to forget in the comments. There's so many of you that come back regularly, and it doesn't mean I've forgotten about you. Because as soon as I finish recording this, I know for a fact I'll be like, oh crap, I forgot this person and that person. But I'm thinking of you. Obviously, there's Elke, I think that's your name. But yeah, I want to say thank you to you, because you're always commenting as well, which is really nice of you to do, to be honest. Like you watch every single video, and I really appreciate that. There's Sexy Grandma Darkness, give you a little shout out, always comments as well. There's Cadillac, sorry, full names escape me, but you know who you are. There's so many of you. I'm going to stop because I realise this is only interesting to the person I'm talking about. So alright, you know who you are. I'll mention you in the comments. But thank you. What else can I talk about? Sorry, one sec. Do you get it sometimes when you eat and it's like you need to keep clearing your throat? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just I don't drink enough maybe, but I've eaten some chocolate because I'm a right fat bastard at the minute, and I pretty much keep clearing my throat all the time. It's really annoying. Oh, that's what I was going to talk to you guys about. Do you remember I said to you, it's like, oh, I've got my car I need a new car basically. Well, the other day on Friday, it's as I'm doing this right now, it's like, well, technically Monday morning, but it's Sunday night if you think about it like that. But I was I was driving and my power steering kind of stopped working, and I was like, what is going on here? And the engine light was on full, and like all the warning lights come on. I was like, what is happening? So I managed to pull over, and something happened to the engine coil in my car. But so much had gone wrong on that car that I love that car, but it started going wrong recently. So I had to I managed to get it back home, thankfully. And so I'm driving right up my arse the whole way as well. It's really annoying me because I had my hazard lights on, so I was getting the right ump. And anyway, I got it back, and I had to end up scrapping it. Like I got someone paid to take it away basically, because they're going to like use it for parts, I suppose. But I've got a whopping £200. And so yeah, that's great. But I'm getting a new car. Hopefully tomorrow I'm picking it up, so that would be nice. I spent so long looking at cars as well, because I've known for a long time that my car is on its way out and that I need to start looking at other ones, because my car was like a 2002 Ford Focus, so like 20 years old, so it's getting on a bit. And so I bought a Mazda, which is I'm happy about that, and it hasn't got that many miles on it. I haven't spent loads of money, but I'm hoping it's reliable. That's the main thing for me. I don't care about speed or performance and all that shit. I just want it to drive from A to B and not break down or for anything to break off of it, basically, is what I'm hoping for. So that is the aim. And I need to go pick that up tomorrow morning, actually, but as you can see, I'm not sleeping, am I? I'm having a right old mare in my sleeping pattern. So I won't be getting to sleep like 3, 4 probably, so I'm sitting here. Oh, that fan is so annoying, isn't it? Stop making that noise. Do you know what else annoys me? I've got birds. Like, you think, oh, you got a nice tree outside your house. Birds chirping in the morning. They don't chirp in the morning. That was a lie. They are causing chaos out there first thing in the morning. I don't know what they are doing. I don't know why they're making the noises they make. But it sounds like it's the most horrible call they could possibly do. I don't know why they've evolved to make that noise. It's fucking horrible. It's so annoying. It's like, I sleep with my window open sometimes, especially when it's this sort of heat. Like, not even like fully open either, like just a little bit open, just get a little bit of a draft in. And these fucking birds are so noisy. They wake me up at about 5 in the morning. And if I'm not getting to sleep until like 2 in the morning, and I'm waking up at 5 with these stupid birds, the second I wake up, I'm not getting back to sleep. As soon as I move, I'm not getting back to sleep. So they're so... I'm getting really annoyed with them. Let's go have some words, and them bloody birds. Launch snake in the tree or something. But might have to get like a potato gun. Snipe them first thing in the morning. But no, I won't do that. I'll leave them be. But yeah, I think I'm bloody tired. What else can I talk to you about? Oh, England played their first game today, and I know this. I'm not going to talk about this for long because I know that the chances of that a lot of you are American and Canadian and Australian, so the chances of you liking football are not necessarily that high, but like English football. England won their first game in the Euros, so I'm happy about that. I'm going to start playing football again soon. Just go over the park and stuff soon. Yeah. What else is there to talk about? How long have I been talking for? I don't even know anymore. The little thing's still going along. I just checked, so still recording. Oh, sometimes when I'm recording these stories, right, I'll be in the middle of it, and then my mic will just cut off, and I don't realise. So it goes straight to the built-in microphone on my laptop, which is terrible. So this mic I've got now is fine. Like, it's good enough. It does the job. I've never had a complaint about this microphone, but it cuts out, and then built-in, it sounds like someone's talking through like a plasterboard or something. It's awful. It is shocking. But yeah, so that happens sometimes. Do you know what? I actually really like the stories of this video. Tell me what you think, because the ones I've narrated so far, I'm really looking forward to putting these ones out. I think they're like really, like, I don't know. Like, some of them got little twists in them. Like, you know, obviously, well, I don't know why I was saying it as if, like, as if you don't know already, because you already heard it, if you're at this point. But the one about the person being stalked, so that's mad, in Amsterdam. It's Amsterdam as well. How'd they even find it? That's mad. Probably Snapchat or something, I don't even know. But it's crazy. Yeah, it's like, I remember some of the stories really stick with me. Like, some of them I forget, but other ones that I really remember, even some of them from like years ago, like donkeys ago. I still remember the ones from like donkeys years ago, which is weird. But yeah, I like narrating stories. Like, well, actually, I enjoy the final product, and I don't mind. I like narrating it when it goes well. Like, most of these stories went pretty well when I was reading them. Like, I wasn't stumbling and stuttering and messing words up and all that. So I had quite a decent time doing these ones. But sometimes I have it when every other word comes out wrong, and I'm thinking, just get her grip, do it properly. Sometimes my brain frustrates me so much. It's like, there'll be like 3 words, and I can't say it. It'll be like the most easy thing ever, like, the sun is out, and I'll be like, sun out, and I just get it completely wrong. It's so frustrating. Like, I do it again and again and again, and sometimes it takes me like a full minute to say the most basic sentence. But that's not always, and it didn't happen today. Actually, not today. Well, a couple of days ago, I narrated the stories for this video. But yeah, Also, done my other donation to Headway charity, so I'll leave the link in the description for Headway. I'm not paid by them or anything. They don't even know I'm doing this. Like, I mention them quite a lot. I just like what they do, so I just shout them out and, you know, donate to them and tell people to. I mean, yeah, I don't know if anyone has, but I really like what they do. I think it's really good. It's like a brain injury charity, which I don't know. I just think they do really good stuff, so that's why I talk about them quite a lot. Yeah, what else? I should probably try and get to sleep soon, so I'm going to end this in a minute, and I'm getting really, really hot in this room, so I'm going to have to move. Anything else? It's groovy, isn't it? This is what you subscribe for. You know, I don't know why if you listen to this. This is crap, isn't it? This is awful what I'm doing now. Some of you actually like it though, which I find quite strange. Just waffling on, but this has been a very boring one, hasn't it? A lot has happened in my personal life, but at the same time, I don't want to be one of them people that always whinges about stuff. Even though I do moan about stuff sometimes. Well, moan about quite a few things in this, but yeah, I don't I don't really like the whole YouTube personality thing. Everyone's always moaning about something, and I feel like I've grown up a lot since I started YouTube, and I don't know. I feel like you guys are my friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like little pen pals. Like, I just like talking to you, and you comment back, and I can have little conversations with you, and I love that. It's really, really nice. It's so cool. Like, I don't know. It's like, because most of you have been here for so long, and it's just like, it is literally talking to friends. Like, you know a lot about me. I know a lot about you because of what you tell me, and like, I do remember so much about you guys as well. Like, I remember if you commented something about your personal life a few years ago, I still remember it because it's my favourite part of YouTube. If I could just have everyone comment and not upload anything, I'd love it. I'd love to upload a blank screen and just talk to you guys. That would be so ideal. But I understand that that wouldn't exactly be the most attractive content in the world. And to be fair, I love horror stuff. I do love narrating the horror stuff, and I love the other type of videos, like the medieval stuff at the minute, and I love making that. So I'll keep doing that stuff and the narrations. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go because I've dragged this out. So if you're at this point in the video, I'm very surprised because this is boring. And what can you say? What was that made you say last week? It was something you did. It was something about a young lobster. So say something along them lines. So say, Danny, get to sleep. You young prune juice. Alright. See you later. Bye.